Over the weekend, Nintendo, despite having potentially one of the greatest systems of all time out, and it having the most successful launch ever, decided to raise the prices on original Switch products and some Switch 2 products. They've said that they've done this because of changing market conditions, essentially tariffs. But really, I think Nintendo is scared out of their minds. More on that later though. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel as though Nintendo has changed quite a lot over the course of the past 4-ish months. They've become a lot colder and more business-like. Now, being a much stiffer corporate identity isn't exactly a bad thing, but it's the way that they're doing it. They're choosing to make their hardware and software expensive and less fun for the consumer. But the fact that they're raising the price on their hardware is genuinely kind of baffling to me. You have genuinely never been more rich as a company, and yet your reputation is dropping faster than a bag of rocks. It does not make sense. Now, here is the list of the things that are going to be raised and how much they'll be raised by. Feel free to pause the video here and scan the list because it's fairly extensive. Now, what's baffling to me is the Switch OLED being $400. I don't know, man, that's wild. The original Switch isn't even that powerful. And now, you might as well buy a Switch 2 for the extra $50. The Switch 2 is way more powerful than the Switch, and if you have never owned a Switch 1, then the Switch 2 is perfect for you if you're interested in it. Now, as for why they did this, like I mentioned earlier, I think that Nintendo is scared. The Switch 2 had a massive launch, securing the most sales of any console ever, and now the sales are dropping because everyone else is watching the YouTube videos that we're putting out, and they're deciding, it's not worth it. I'll either buy a regular Switch or some other console. And so Nintendo decides to panic, and instead of fixing the games and the game key cards, they just choose to raise the price on the OG Switch products instead, making the Switch 2 slightly more appealing because the original products are extremely expensive now. Now, I don't think the only reason is because of Nintendo being scared. They also raised the prices of the Amiibo, the Nintendo Alarmo, the charging stand for the Joy-Cons, the OG and Switch 2 controllers, and the dock for the Switch 2. So I don't think the whole issue is that they're scared. There are probably some issues with the market right now that are causing them to raise the prices of these items by a bit, but I don't think that's the only reason. Nintendo is also likely scared of the Switch 2 having a stellar launch, but its sales dropping like a bag of rocks. However, we can't just look at Nintendo here. This is likely because of tariffs, and PlayStation and Xbox have both raised their prices because of those tariffs. The PlayStation 5 Pro is $700. The Xbox Series X is $600. And Nintendo did not raise the price on the Switch 2. So it's possible that they're smarter than anyone thinks they could be. They're raising the price of the OG Switch to balance out them barely making any money from the Switch 2, or them not meeting their quotas or whatever. But let me know what you all think of this situation down below. I'd appreciate any input you all may have. But with that, if you enjoyed this video, you'll appreciate my thoughts on the game keycard situation, which you can click on right here. I'm Dastardly John. Hope you keep on being dastardly.